Welcome to Sports Bet Daily with Natalie and the White Whale. Hello, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm wonderful. So great to talk to you. Super excited to get into the Women's World Cup quarterfinals. We're really blessed with 4 pretty spectacular matchups to break down today. Sad that we don't have EJ, but I think we're going to do a great job hitting these handicaps.
Absolutely. EJ has written an article, though, detailing his picks over at Oddsmarket. I have a few as well that I did read his article. I picked up a few, so we can also discuss those as well. And if anybody was wondering of the welcome, if you are not familiar with the White Whale Kappa's podcasts, he's got an awesome show. And it starts with a really catchy ding, 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 ding. I thought I want one of these little jives to get everyone going. And then he does the biggest welcome to the show. So, how's everything going with the podcast? Obviously, it's down season for you. What? I'm sure you're. Well, I've actually been listening to some today. So, what do you guys focus on during the down season?
So this off season, we've dedicated a couple to NBA, we did a whole Women's World Cup preview. But beside from that, we've tried to do a whole evergreen series where we've kind of covered mistakes we made as beginning bettors, where we covered cognitive biases and how that impacts your handicapping. Those were pretty fascinating. And, these are ones that we can not just entertain you through the off season of the football year, but should go, can be reposted anytime and would be well worth listening to. But we've done a couple recently that have kind of lit the Twitter community on fire, talking about touting and about the affiliate model and how you just kind of have to be aware of some certain aspects of all this stuff as you're consuming content or considering buying picks, or some of the stuff that goes unspoken but is pretty important for new or even kind of media relatively experienced bettors. It's worth kind of thinking and talking about that stuff. So it's been fascinating to kind of dig into the topic ourselves, and we've gotten some great feedback from it and started some interesting conversations. So it's been a good summer.
Yeah. And you've got a podcast today, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do. Yeah, this is probably gonna be the last of them. That we kind of cover some evergreen topics, and then once July rolls around, we're gonna start really getting into some football topics, NFL topics. We're gonna go through how you establish power. The most common way you kind of start as a handicapper in NFL is you build power numbers, and that helps you figure out what spreads ought to be and things like that. So we're going to cover how you go about establishing power numbers, talk through some of that for this NFL season, and then similarly kind of go through some schedule analysis and some situational handicapping angles that we think are valuable and important to talk about, and then preview the divisions and start handicapping the NFL season. So it's very exciting. Ready to kind of get back into the swing of things. NFL. We've been doing the Audible NFL with Jimmy and Donnie. Those have been fantastic. We got 2 down, 6 to go, and it's been a ton of fun kind of talking about football again. So I'm getting pretty excited.
So what time today is the interview with the professional gambler?
So we're going to record at like 8 o'clock Eastern time, but it'll go up not long thereafter, and I'll probably post about it tomorrow morning, so you can download it and listen to it whenever. Thursday it's probably the easiest way to find it.
Cool. And then all the NFL stuff, because I don't bet NFL at all, and I feel that you've made such an effort with my football that I'm going to make an effort with your football, and I'm going to listen to your podcast, and then hopefully that is going to make me a super NFL better tipster, punter. When do they start? So I'll put that in my diary.
Yeah, after the July 4th holiday, we're going to get into that. So that first week of July, we'll start putting out some NFL ones. Right. You won't miss them.
Cool. Whale_Kappa is his Twitter handle, and all the links are posted on there. All right, Women's World Cup. First thing, okay, so I have to say, I've got them in order because we're going to get graphic, so I do have to stick to the order, unfortunately. But very, very quickly, France versus USA, that is a pretty tough draw, isn't it?
This is your two tournament favorites. Pre-tournament favorites. We knew this was coming. We talked about it when we previewed the Women's World Cup from the get-go. Presumably your two strongest teams, your host country versus your defending champions. It really doesn't get much better than this. And the fact that it's happening in the quarterfinal round, it's pretty wild because it's going to open things up wide open for whoever comes away with the victory here. We've seen better from both teams than we saw from them in the round of 16. I feel. Yeah. It's going to be pretty fascinating to watch this one, and that one. That's definitely the highlight, the top of the card for the quarterfinals for sure. Yes.
Yeah, well, it looks like they've actually pulled up the graphics, so I don't need to stick to the others. So we can actually just jump straight into this one. Obviously, USA 2.38, draw 3.3, and France 3.3. Is there a way, I know you're really clever at sort of stuff like this, is there a way of sort of hedging your bets? Obviously, we've got the outrights. Do you think, well, the first question is do you think that the winner of this match will go on to win the whole thing?
If it's the United States, I do. If it is France, I think they'll be the finalists, but I'm not prepared to write off whoever comes off the bottom half, presumably Germany. Very, very powerful team, very deep team, matches up well with France. I think the way, we'll get into some hedging strategies, but clearly I'm invested in USA at 3-1 from the pre-tournament. And I think it's time to double down, actually. I think the United States gets it done here. I think they advance. I like them to advance in regulation as well. I don't think it's going to be easy.
Yeah.
But if we look at what happened in the round of 16, two things clearly were noticeable to me. There was a general market overreaction to how the box score for England, and then there was an overreaction in a negative light to how the United States looked and how Netherlands looked. Both, you can make a case just kind of looking at the box score, looking at how the wins came about. You can make a case that the United States and the Netherlands are lucky to be here. Netherlands especially, probably coulda, shoulda, woulda lost to Japan, but here they are, survive in advance. USA, same sort of story. 2 penalties to get them to this point in the tournament. Both of those, the first penalty I thought was very fair. The second penalty was a little bit soft, but you look at the Spain goal. I thought the Spain goal should have been disallowed. That was kind of just a messy match from whistle to whistle. I didn't think it was especially cleanly reffed. Spain obviously had a very, very, very good strategy. They'd played the United States. You would have thought with the United States' weaknesses being their goalkeeping and their defense, that a team that would come at them aggressively would have some edge. Spain went basically the full opposite direction. They were like, no, we're going to sit back. We're going to, maintain possession. We're going to disrupt them. We're going to frustrate them. We're going to be physical, and we're going to make the referees decide this. And then, unfortunately for them, the referees decided it against them. But all told, it's a little bit of a blueprint for some of the better teams in this tournament on how they should attack the United States. Does not play very well in terms of how France is set up strength-wise. Unfortunately, I don't think France is the kind of team that can play keep away, can play a little bit less aggressively. They're the type of team that has to push to create scoring opportunities, which creates vulnerabilities for them to the counterattack, which I would expect the United States to be able to take advantage of here.
Yeah.
So my favorite look is United States on the money line at plus 136 or 2.36. But given their propensity to, given the goalkeeper was, man, she was real nervous in that Spain match, and she almost gave up a couple of real questionable looks. So I won't be surprised if France can get on the sheet here. I don't think the United States wins to 0. I think that opens up an opportunity for an over.
Ding, 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 ding. Are we live now? Okay. Do we have World Cup? Were you old school World Cup, Okay, so yes.
good.
Anyway, so we're just calling World Cup back. We got World Cup back. I didn't even realize we were live World Cup, and I was still doing your little tune there. Ding, 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 ding. Rafa's like, we're live. I'm like, okay. All right. So yes. So we left off saying you wouldn't be surprised if France would get onto the score sheet. Would you put your money on both teams to score 1.87? USA have yet to concede. Would you brave it with your money?
Well, yeah, they did give up one to Spain, which I thought I don't know if you really want to count that because it should have been called back. But I do think France does get on the score sheet. They have some women that can finish extremely well. And actually, I liked what you mentioned, both teams to score. I like over 2.5 as well. And I would look for over 2.5 plus 109. I think makes a good look. Over 1 in the first half at plus 101. I think is interesting also.
Yeah, that's
because this isn't the kind of game that's going to halftime 0-0. There's going to be at least one goal scored. The United States has come out aggressively and scored in the first 15 minutes. Every game to this point, they've been spectacular from the whistle. I think that kind of sets the tone here, and you'll see 2 goals in this first half. So I'm going to take over 1 kind of as a free roll. 1 goal pushes, obviously, but you see a second goal in that first half and that cashes. So I'm going to be involved in that. But I think my primary look in this one is going to be USA on the money line at plus 136.
Yeah. Now, when our internet went down, I was thinking it was from your side. So there I was talking away to myself. It turned out. And
the takes were so hot they melted the internet.
I was like chatting away, and then I thought I'll go and have a little look on the chat and see what's happening. And then it says you're offline. So after about 5 minutes of talking to myself, which isn't new, I have to say. So EJ is going for, drum roll, France draw no bet.
Ooh.
Yeah. Heads to head.
Wow.
It would have. I know.
He was
quite
so. At the very beginning of this tournament, he was so much more bullish on USA than I was, and now the roles have pretty much reversed.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. But he's still on. He still likes Germany to win it all. So you were sort of saying, obviously, if USA, and that you were worried about USA with Germany. So there we go. All right. So we both agree here. USA moneyline 2.38. If you want to be a bit more cautious, there is, in my opinion, a bit of value on the USA draw no bet at 1.67. And I love that play of yours, over 1 goal in the first half as well. I think both of these teams are going to come out, and I definitely think we're going to have a goal in the first half. All right. Norway versus England. England 2.07. Draw 3.5 and Norway 3.8. England obviously did a great job in the group stage. I think that they are rightful favourites in this match. 2.07. That's kind of my lean here. I like that one.
Yeah, there's a chance that Norway is gassed. That we saw everything that they had in that match versus Australia. They really, really worked hard in that first 30 minutes. Both of those teams were just pushing so hard. And Norway came away with that goal finally in the first half, and then they looked like they wanted to try to park the bus and win 1-0. Obviously, it didn't work out. Australia levels 1-1. They go to extra time, and that was just a battle of attrition through those extra 30 minutes there, with Norway, really looking quite crisp and comfortable from the penalty kick line. At the end there to decide it. But yeah, that probably took a lot out of that team. But I'm still suspect and not ready to buy into England as a contender in this tournament yet. Largely just on the basis of we haven't seen them take on world-class competition to this point. I don't think any of their competition in group was especially impressive this time around. Their win over Cameroon, I found that suspect. They won 3-0. You look at the box score and you think, oh, England was amazing. They were great. That was the refereeing there that allowed the second goal in the first half in added time then took away, Cameroon's goal early in the second half, completely changed the composition of that match. The women, had, rightfully had meltdowns on the field over the way that played out. Another set of circumstances goes around, then it's like 1-1 there. As we go deep into the second half, and it's a much more interesting competition. So I think there's some, we still haven't seen England really face adversity yet. I don't know how they'll respond. But I think this match sets up well for the Natalie special, which is second half highest scoring half. This is the perfect setup for second half highest scoring half. Neither Norway nor England has conceded a first half goal in this tournament. These two teams have played each other relatively frequently over the years, a lot of head-to-heads, a lot of familiarity between opponents. When you see this situation set up, I think we'll see a very, even, relatively slow start to this game. I wouldn't be shocked at all if we see 0-0 at halftime. Like I mentioned with the Norway versus Australia match, if Norway somehow gets on the board in the first half, we know what their strategy is going to be. It's going to be run out the clock. So the idea that, the only thing that really threatens this is if England really is as good as they may be. Maybe they are amazing. We haven't really seen them play anyone good enough to tell. Mm-hmm. But if England is really world class and they put on a show in the first half and they're up 2-0, maybe they win 3-0 or something like that, and this isn't a winner. But second half highest scoring half is plus 153. That's 2.53. Yeah. That's a great look in my opinion, because I really do think there's a very high likelihood that we see a very slow start to this game, and then things open up in the second half. And Norway's leaky. England has given up some goals they shouldn't have given up in this tournament. England can score goals. And so I think, this could end up, 1-1, 2-1, 2-0 for England, 1-0 for England with the second half goal, I think are all realistic possibilities here. And if you're going to give me plus 153, that the second half is the highest scoring, I'm interested in that all day long.
Yeah, but do you think that England is going to win this?
I do.
But just don't want to put your money on it.
I think I could see a situation play out where England wins in extra time, 2-1. I could see a situation where, where Norway, holds them off enough until their legs finally give up late in the game or in the second half here. Mm-hmm. I just haven't seen it from them when the going gets tough. Them, especially show out. Do
they get going?
So I need to see them play well in a high adversity situation to really be interested in getting involved in kind of buying into them, I suppose. Yeah. So we'll see if they do it against Norway.
Fair point. I think we're roughly on the same lines here. I was looking at draw at half time. You can get that at 2.15. And then I was looking at stretching it. I agree with you, but I'm hoping England will get it done in the 90 minutes. You can play draw at half time, England full time, 5.38. Fantastic set of odds. What? Yeah, draw at half time, England to win. Yes.
I'm writing that down.
Draw at half time, England full time, 5.35. If you just want to play it a little bit safer, draw at half time. And I like your highest scoring half. So what we need is 0-0 at half time. Then we need England to go and score a couple of goals. Your bet comes in, my bet comes in. We're all laughing. So that's what we want to happen.
I love it.
All right. Okay, next match.
Tune in tomorrow to find out how it goes down, because this is the first one on the card, right? This is tomorrow's match.
Exactly. Right. As I don't appear to have to be sticking to an order, we've got Germany versus Sweden or Italy versus Netherlands next. Which one would you like to talk about?
Let's talk about Italy-Netherlands.
Okay.
Not a lot of history between these two clubs, surprisingly. Both European clubs. Netherlands, obviously the European champs. Netherlands, they opened. I thought they opened a relatively fair price here in the three-way market, and then Italy and draw have just been taking buckets of money. presenting a little bit of value on Netherlands, but not enough to really want to get involved on them winning in regulation. I think the play here is pretty straightforward. Both teams to score. Both teams have given up goals. Both teams have been able to, have shown the ability to finish. Both teams to score is -118. I think this should be a very fun match. I got Netherlands advancing 2-1. I've underrated Italy to this point in this World Cup, I will admit. And Italy probably is relatively live here, given that they have some confidence and that they look like they're playing well as a team. But both teams to score here seems like the pretty obvious angle. Maybe it's too obvious, but both teams to score at -118 is my look.
Yeah. To be honest with you, this was the hardest game for me to cap. Like you said, not much history between the two. Interestingly, Netherlands are quite a lot shorter priced to win the tournament than Italy are. Obviously here, Netherlands to win the match 2.2, Italy 3.6. It's a lean, and it was both teams to score. That was the only sort of one I was sort of feeling out on this one. Both teams to score 1.88. I just think there's not much to split the two teams. I think they scored similar amounts. They both conceded 2 goals. I think both should get on the score sheet. Do you think this is a match that could go into extra time?
Yeah,
me too.
I do. I thought, I still have a little bit of confidence in the Netherlands. I like the way they play. They're a little sloppy on the back end. They've given up some goals that I don't think that, they were tight. They were tired. They were, their strategy and style did not match well for their match against Japan. I think that in general is depressing their price a little bit. And I see people that I respect putting some legitimate money down on the draw here, which, you see that kind of activity and you got to think, okay, well, there's, that does that make sense? And you look at, the history of, you look at where we are in the tournament, the fact that things do get a little bit tighter at this point in time and that they're relatively equal squads. Yeah. Draw makes sense here, and I would lean toward the Netherlands if it does go to penalties, but it's a pretty weak lean. And so I guess I get why they're favored to advance. I get, seeing them advance after regulation would not surprise me. But I'm nervous, and I have a Netherlands ticket pre-tournament. I was on them at 15-1. So I'm a little nervous here but I think it's too early to hedge still. They have too far to go. They're going to have to beat Germany likely in the next round and then presumably match up against USA in the final. So, best case scenario for me, Netherlands gets through somehow, some way, plays Germany in the semifinals, and then I'm holding 3 out of the 4 outright tickets, and then England can break my heart. So we'll see how it goes.
Yes. All right. So final match, Germany versus Sweden. I have to say, I think Germany got the better draw out of all of these ones. So Germany, obviously, top of their group. Sweden, in their fairness, they were in the USA, but they've got this was just like, Germany are organized. I think of all, I don't know, is this my favorite bet? I think it might be. I think it might be my favorite bet. I think Germany, just to win, 1.78. Combining it with the under 4.5 goals, also known as the Martin Classic. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring. You can get almost even money there, 1.95 Germany and the under 4.5 goals. Sweden are not a bad team. I just think Germany, they're disciplined, they're organized.
Yeah.
They are a contender for the title. They're EJ's favorite to win. What do you like in this match?
Yeah, no, I agree with all those points. I thought that it turned out actually that Germany-Nigeria match was a little. Everything we said on the last preview pretty much came true. I think every single lean and look and tip and every point and angle we brought up ended up getting to the window, which is exciting when it all works out that way. But if you watch the match, it didn't feel that good. There was a lot of time in that second half where you're like, really? We're not going to get a third? Where's the third? But sure enough, they come through with the third goal late, and they keep Nigeria off the board. It turned out Nigeria, with the speed that they had in their attack and the style that they played in that match, was a bad matchup for Germany because Germany does not do well against speed, apparently. Who knew? But that's not the way Sweden plays. And I think I like your look. I like the Martin Classic here on this one. I'm going to take a swing at Germany halftime, full time at plus 189. Germany has shown an ability to play pretty strong, pretty dominating football from the whistle. I think they get on the board relatively easily in this first half here and keep Sweden at bay. Germany winning to 0 wouldn't surprise me. Germany 2-0 kind of is where I'm, my most likely outcome in this one. But halftime, full time at the price of plus 189 is really something that my eyes immediately, whoa. This is, they are going to get out, because Germany is the kind of team that gets after it early. They're going to put pressure on Sweden. They're not going to let this game malinger into the second half and hope to squeeze out a victory. So.
Yeah, agree. Germany halftime, full time. Yeah, my eyes were on like that on just the Germany price there, 1.78. But I did want to squidge some value there, 1.95 for the Germany and the under 4.5 goals. All right. So I believe this is it. We have previewed all 4 games. I don't know if you want to just run down the best bets that you are going for, or the bets you're going for the women's quarterfinals here for our viewers. I will do the same.
My look for tomorrow's match, Norway, England, second half highest scoring at plus 153. And you better believe I'm going to tickle that draw first half, England second half at 5.3. That is a beauty as far as a price, especially. And then USA, France. I'm adding to my stake on United States to continue to advance in this tournament, backing them on the money line at plus 136. I think the over 2.5 is a decent look as well at plus 109, as well as the first half over 1 at plus 101. In the Italy-Netherlands match, my play is both teams to score, minus 118. If you're looking for a little bit more generous price, you can try to take a swing on the Alex Classic. I do think 2-1 is about where this thing lands. But I'm going to stick with minus 118 on both teams to score as my official play for record-keeping purposes. And then Germany-Sweden. Halftime, full-time for Germany at plus 189. Looking for about a 2-0 win for Deutschland.
Yeah. I am going to go for Norway, England, full unit on England to win at 2.05, half a unit on draw at halftime and the England win there. 5.38. I'm going to tickle that one too. USA to win at 2.38, and I'm going to put USA draw no bet into an accumulator, 1.67. EJ, don't forget, head to head with EJ there. France draw no bet. I like Germany to win, 1.78. Another part of my parlay bet there, so 2 parlay bet, and Germany and the under 4.5 as a straight bet, 1 unit at 1.95. I just don't know enough about Italy, Netherlands to make the play, but it's a strong lean on both teams to score. All right, well, Kappa, absolutely a pleasure talking to you. And I'm really excited to listen out for these podcasts for the NHL and sort of helping us and teaching us and then looking at the conferences. And I'm really looking forward to growing with you guys. And then also the interview that is out later today, but I will be sure to check in on Thursday, tomorrow, for it. Best of luck. Women's quarterfinals kicking off tomorrow. Thank you, well, Kappa. I'll see you soon.
So great talking to you as always. Best of luck in the quarterfinals, and hope all of the viewers at home are enjoying the Women's World Cup as much as we are to this point, because it's been a heck of a lot of fun. So getting us through the summer months here, getting us through the dog days of summer.
We're going to do something with that day. Absolutely. I'll see you in the semi-finals. All right. Okay, so now we move on to UFC on ESPN 3 with DaveBets. I haven't spoken to DaveBets in ages, actually, it feels like. Hello, Dave. There he is. A long time no speak, it feels like. I feel like we haven't done a video for ages.
Yeah, it's been a 2-week break.
I know, but we're back. We've got a really good card. This one's some really great fights. Obviously, I'm going to struggle a little bit with the names. Apologies on that. I have done my homework, but I just haven't got the names. No, the names. So, we've just
You
published.
struggle. I bet you're struggling with the main event, right? Francis Ngannou. Is that what you struggle with?
I
that
actually
one?
just wrote Francis on that one just to make
Yeah.
it easier. That's right. I'll call him Francis, and then we've got Junior Dos Santos. I can do that one.
Yeah.
No, there's
Or
there's
JDS.
Anthony Martin, easy. Damien Maya.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
there we go.
Spot on.
Thank you. And then the other one actually, the middle one, the co-main, Juicia Forminga. Joseph Benavides. Oh, well, I can do that one too because that one's like Spanishy, and obviously.
And Juicy Formiga.
Yeah, Juicy. That's an interesting name, Juicy. Quite like that name.
Depends
All
what
right.
part of the world you're from. Different people pronounce it differently. Do you know what I mean? American and English is, some names are just pronounced totally different. So it's all dependent.
Yeah.
Say what you want.
So let us start off with the main event. So Francis versus Junior Dos Santos. Now, Jason Paglia from the Sports Cake has done a big write-up on this one. I had a brief look. I just wanted to see where he was leaning on this one. He is liking Junior Dos Santos, and that is a massive price.
Wow, that's surprising news to me because
Is it?
I spoke to him yesterday and he was liking the fight from two angles.
Yes.
So he believes that if Francis is going to win, it's going to be early. So he was thinking about taking the round one prop, I think, which is plus 180, I think. 2.80 around them prices.
5.5
and then
5.0 fight ends in one round, 4-1, 5.0.
Huh? Really?
That's what I'm reading. And then his second pick is Junior Dos Santos at 2-1, odds of 3, 1 unit.
Oh, so he did make both the plays on his write-up.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Okay, yeah. So we did go with that. Yeah, it was. I did say to him it was a great take. Other than Francis Ngannou does have 2 knockouts in round 2, so it's not like he can lose it all in round 1. Plus, I'm pretty sure that they highlight what the fighters need to do, and Francis' cardio is clearly needed work for a long time. So, you know, there's a good chance he can come into this fight with a bit extra gas in the tank in preparation for somebody like Junior Dos Santos. But I do agree with Jay. If Francis is going to win this fight, he's going to win it by knockout, and it's going to be early. So, yeah, it's definitely a fight that everybody wants to see, because this guy Francis Ngannou is the hardest. He's got the hardest punch that the UFC has ever seen. I think the equivalent was a car doing 40 miles per hour. Is the same as taking a punch from him. So, yeah, good luck to Junior Dos Santos, but his face is not going to look pretty at the end of that fight. That's all I can say.
Looking at the little picture here, I would say he's had a few knocks on that face as well. But
He has.
Yeah. Oh goodness me. But okay. DaveBets does a dogs and their odds. It is a weekly article, obviously, when UFC is up on. And did Junior Dos Santos make the dogs and the odds?
Nope.
No. So that
See,
means
do you know what?
difference
I'd never probably use a main or co-main event in dogs and their odds, just because that's what Jay's covering in his articles. So for me to cover the main and co-main it's kind of pointless. You try and mix it up. Most of the time, I'm going for the early card fights, so the preliminary fights.
Yeah.
And I leave because Jay's done really well on the main event articles. He's cashed quite a lot of them. So for me to try and come in and steal that light wouldn't be fair on him anyway.
Oh, you could always,
and I don't think I could steal that light either, because he's doing really well in their main event predictions. So I don't want to tread on his toes at all. I definitely don't want to go head to head with him again, because last time that bit me in the butt. So.
What you are though going welterweight though? You're going for Anthony Martin at 2.62 in dogs and your odds.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a stab with Martin, just based. A lot of my capping here was based on just youth, and it's I believe that timing is everything, and I feel like Anthony Martin has been with the UFC for a long time now. He went on a rough streak, and he was actually 1-3. So he'd only had one win with 3 losses, and he moved up weight class. And since moving up the weight class, it's like his game has totally changed, especially his striking, and the movement on his feet is just improving from every fight that he goes through. And he's now on a 4-0 streak. The only problem is he does come up against one of the best Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioners that the UFC has on their roster. Damian Maia has, I think, 13 victories by submission. He's a 4th Dan black belt in jiu-jitsu and possibly the best grappler in that division. Other than the people that have defeated him, who are wrestlers, Damian Maia is probably the best grappler in that division. So it is a tough one for Martin. But like I said, I think the streak is on the time in his career. He's not a new face. There's a 12-year age gap between the two. So yeah, I think the youth and the movement, the footwork of Martin can get the job done in this one.
All right, yeah, and good odds on that one, 2.62. And sorry, Joe, going back to the main event here. So you did say that, so you don't think that Junior Dos Santos is going to win. Well, it certainly didn't make your dogs in the odds.
Yeah, it didn't make the dogs in the odds. I wouldn't say I don't think he's going to win, because Junior Dos Santos is probably the best boxer in the heavyweight division. His boxing skills are good. It's just that he does take damage. I think he absorbs 3.05 strikes per minute, and Francis gives out around 2.0 per minute, and all it takes is one of them from Francis to land, and it's over. In Francis' previous fight, he didn't even connect with a fully swing punch, and it was lights out. There's no stopping the power behind that punch. People don't realize until they watch Francis and Ngannou fight that nobody is going to survive that sort of power from that punch. Nobody. He's had a few of his fights have been a bit of a letdown, but it was only due to the wrestling game. Junior could wrestle him, and that would probably be the best strategy for his team to be working on taking Francis down, because last time we saw Francis get taken down was against Stipe, and he was a fish on his back. He couldn't do anything. But through Junior's many fights in the UFC, I've never saw him implement any type of wrestling strategy, because he is a boxer. So I think he'll test his boxing, think he can hang with Francis, and probably get knocked out in round 1 or 2. So if I was going to bet this fight, which I'm not, I would be looking at the props for round 1 and 2 finishes by Ngannou. You get some great prices, especially on round 2, I think. You get some high odds on that. In regards to picking Francis straight up, there's no interest there at 1.42. Junior, he does have a great chance to win this fight if he can survive the early onslaught. Whether that's going to happen or not, I cannot tell. I cannot handicap this fight and give a pick where I'm going to be confident in putting my money down on it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely. What about the co-main events? Formiga versus Benavides.
Yeah, Jussier Formiga versus Joseph Benavides. It's actually a rematch. Now, this is a rematch it's been quite a few years now. Once again, how I talk about timing and how fighters, it's the right place, right time for certain fighters. I think that Jussier has a great chance of winning this and could quite possibly take the decision victory here against Joseph. Just timing. He's on a 4-fight win streak. He's finished 2 of them, I think, by submission, and he's won 2 decisions. Since he last fought Joseph Benavides, I think he has 9 wins and 2 losses. So he's got 9-2, whereas Joey B has seemed to go on a a little bit of a decline. When fighters get knocked off that championship contender spot, they sometimes have a lack of anything to work towards. Don't get me wrong, he's won his 2 previous fights, but yeah, I do like Juicy this time round to have improved on everything, striking, grappling, and yeah, decision victory for Juicy is what I'm looking at right now.
Really? So again, you'll go, but then that's that you're going then with the dog in that one 2.5.
With the underdog, it is with the underdog, but
yeah,
it's not. It's also not in the dogs and the odds right up.
So we're getting some bonus content right here.
Yeah, it hasn't been published yet, so
it should have
just
been.
go check out.
Let me see if I did actually, because I saw it in my inbox this morning, and I was like, guys, get on this. I've got him coming on this show. I'd like the article up, please. So,
I was up all night watching the tape on this, replaying Anthony Martin and Damian Maia fights, and yeah.
Here we go.
Just go and check out the article.
I'm going to put the link.
It'll be up.
Put the link in the description.
Is it up now?
Yeah, it's there. It is up. It is up. Yeah, I saw it about an hour ago, and I said, guys, we're going to get it up. And Jason's as well. Yeah. So that's when, that's what
Speaking of which, we cashed last week's as well. Ashley Yoda by decision was 2.45. She cashed. And what was the other one? Dan Ige. I think he was about 2.30, something like that. We cashed. So both the dogs in that odds article write-ups from last week cashed.
Sweet.
So hopefully I can do the same again this week.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Which brings me to Punching Parlay. Punching Parlay. How is the Punching Parlay doing? I know we had a bit of a dip. We had a great first season of Punching Parlay. How are we doing this season? No.
It's dead in the water.
All right, come on.
I'll tell you what. We're not in a position to fade me because certain legs are still winning in the parlay, and I think this season the majority of the losses have only came by 1. So I'll be back. I haven't actually finished this week's Punching Parlay. I'm going back to the drawing board, and I'm going to try and take a different angle this week, just because I feel like maybe I'm feeling too confident and taking 1 too many. So maybe bring it back down to 2 legs and see how I can go from there. Although saying that, even though the record is 1-4, it's still only -3 units. So it's not too heavy. If you compare it from season 1, and if you followed the entire season 1, you'd still be 7 units in profit. So it's not all that bad. When you break it down.
Yeah, but sometimes you do need to go back to the drawing board as well. I'm always kind of like tweaking and, just trying new tactics and things like that. So, all right.
There's no blueprint for this job. There's no perfect way to do it. You just have to find your own way.
Yeah, that's right. And that hopefully will be published tomorrow over at oddsmarket.com. But before we bring this show to a close, obviously, Saturday, June 29th, what are your favorite takes for the UFC night? What are some of your favorite plays?
Are we talking this weekend or next weekend?
This weekend.
This weekend. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I love Maurice Green. He's fighting a guy that just seemed to have been bullied in his previous 3 fights, coming off some pretty bad TKOs. Maurice Green is a new fighter. I'm taking a bit of a gamble here, but I just think he's got an 8-inch reach advantage, like Jesus, and his striking is good. He's never been finished, and his opponent, Junior Albini, is coming off 3 losses, and Maurice is going on a streak in the UFC. Is 2-0. So the big boys, with a card that's stacked with all these heavy favourites, I like that heavyweight fight, first fight of the night. And then obviously Anthony Martin, you can get him at 2.50. He's undefeated in that division. And I feel like if this fight goes to decision, it will, and can stay standing, it's just going to heavily favour on Martin's side. He's gone to the decision 5 of his previous 7, and Damian Maia's gone to decision in 4 of his previous 5. So, I like his chances to escape any sort of danger on the ground and avoid that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and them submissions that can end your night within a couple of seconds. Other than that, I'm still basically halfway through handicapping this card. Obviously, we still have Punch and Parlay, which will be released on Oddsmarket. It's just be cautious this week. Heavy favourites. The lines came out. There was near enough a heavy favourite in every fight. They got hammered. Now we're just looking at a bunch of like 1.40s, 1.60s, and all these juiced up numbers. So bet cautious and keep an eye out for the articles that will be released this week.
Yes, and on that note, we will bring Sports Bet Daily to a close. Dave, it was a pleasure talking to you. It was nice, this little one-on-one here, running down the card. Keep an eye on oddsmarket.com. We have a UFC page dedicated to all of this content, so please go check it out. DaveBets there, give him a follow on Twitter. Dave, a pleasure as always, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you. Shout out to Jay as well. Get well soon, brother.